Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Let me see if I'm okay. I am talking. Welcome to today's episode of Dissecting the Quran series. This is the one and only Dr. Kufophobia coming live to you from someplace in nowhere. Uh, Mr. Paul is having some difficulties with his internet. So I don't know when he's going to be joining me. I might have to do a solo, well, which is okay. I don't mind. I did ask Emmanuel and Steve and what do Muslims know, but I mean, I don't know if they're busy. Roughneck, good to see you. Darcy, XYZ. I know Jesus is here somewhere. Good to see you guys. Uh, Honestly, I'm surprised I'm doing this because I was on Clubhouse last night from basically 6 o'clock in the afternoon till 2:30 in the morning. Hey, Chloe, I opened up a room and was there for an hour and a half, and then somebody else opened up another room, and I was in there for 6 hours. Now, Chloe, you really need to be on Clubhouse if you're not. I could have used your assistance as I had a debate with a Muslim doctor, and we were going over chapter 86, verses 6 and 7, you know, the water fluid gushing from the backbone in the ribs, and the mental gymnastics that this doctor, or a supposed doctor, hey, Bullet, was trying to use to prove that the Quran is correct was just amazing. So I could have used somebody with a real medical background because my background is just a couple courses that I took in high school and college. Okay, so, and I know this is your field of study. Hey, Comet. So I am actually starting to like Clubhouse. Lots of Muslims there, so it's kind of fun. I mean, we talked about, and I opened up a room today, I think probably an hour and a half, 2 hours, which was um, why should we believe that the Quran is perfect and true? Trevor, good to see you. One of the funniest verses in that Quran. Okay, I'm pretty sure there's a whole bunch of them, but so yeah, I mean, it was fun. I'm gonna go back on it later on. I'm gonna try to keep it to 2 hours unless some brave Muslims want to participate. If any of you lovely folks want to join me, I don't have a problem. As a matter of fact, let me post a link. I hope Paul gets his Wi-Fi fixed. So that's it. It's Saturday. It's freaking cold. My stomach is trying to kill me, but not so far. So let's see. Yeah, it's well, let me tell you, it's much better XYZ than Pal Talk. I can't find Muslims on Pal Talk, but at least here, I've met a whole bunch of people that run rooms, so it's interesting. But let me tell you, I don't like rooms or I don't like platforms like Discord or Clubhouse for the fact that very little control over who can talk unless you're going to start muting people and kicking them out of the audience. Unlike Pal Talk, if you're familiar with Pal Talk, you have to raise your hand and get in line, but you cannot talk until it's your turn. Hey, Black Mamba, so you have to wait your turn. But in Clubhouse and Discord, that doesn't happen. So sometimes you get two or three people talking over each other, and it's just it gives you a headache. But anyway, so let's see. Let's go over here at the stream. Let me take my good looking face out of the way. No, that's not it. I don't know if it's my connection, but you keep freezing. It could be mine. I don't know. Honestly, well, I don't see the StreamYard telling me that I have issues with my Wi-Fi, so I don't know. I really don't hear about Momo's seal of prophethood, the mole thing. Yeah, that's basically in the. You're going to find that in the what do you call it? In the hadiths. I've got a whole bunch of hadiths that talk about that. It's basically some hairy mole between the guy's shoulders. So I think, based on my last video, I think we left off on verse 27. I've actually been using some of these arguments with the Muslims in Clubhouse. Chris is there. Ask Truth Apologetics. Actually, Eric was in my room today, so that was good. Okay, so supposedly, according to Osama Dead Dog, this is basically a story about Cain and Abel. And we all know that it's in the Bible. But let's see. Let's compare this to the Bible. All right. So here we go. 27. And recite to them the news with the truth of the sons of Adam when they each offered an offering. Okay. So we know that, hey, Adam's got sons. Not a problem. Okay. Where am I? Okay, let me move this over here. Let me see if anybody's in the back. Nope, nobody's in the back. Okay, so Adam, okay, and recite to them the news with the truth of the sons of Adam when they each offered an offering. So it was accepted from one of them and not accepted from the other. So my questions to the Muslims, according to the Quran, how would I know? First of all, how would I know the names of the sons? I think it's important to me. And then how would I know which one had his offerings not accepted by whoever? He said, surely I will kill you. Who? Who said, surely I will kill you? Okay, I don't know. I think it's very important if you're picking up a book. If I was to spend money on this book, on Amazon or Barnes and Noble, I would request to have my money back. Dissecting, I really, really appreciate your spiritual strength in this. Oh, thank you. Hey, listen, Black Mamba, if you want to come, let me, you know what? Let me see if I can find a link. Can somebody post or pin the link for me? Because I'm actually not looking. Well, I'm not on YouTube, so I can't see your chats unless I go back to StreamYard, and I am reading from a different tab because otherwise I can't manipulate it. So let me post the link again. Copy, clear. Okay. Black Mama got it. Okay. Hey, Black Mama, good to see you.
What to say?
Okay. Glad to see you on this beautiful Saturday. Of course, I don't know if it's Saturday where you're at, but it's Saturday where I'm at.
It is. Do you hear me well? Do you hear me well?
I think you're decent. You do kind of sound like you're in a little echo, like you're in, don't want to say a cave, but
I have a problem with the computer, the microphone.
Oh, okay. But
anyway,
I can hear you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your Titanic work, man. I really appreciate it. Last time I was with you, I felt what the computer feels when you return the blue screen. The dizziness. I didn't know on which planet I was. It's like being on Mars. Trying to understand this all-explaining book as the Muslims pretend to be.
Oh, you should have seen the fun I had with the Muslims over on Clubhouse, asking them the very same questions about their clear, explained book, and I was asking them, like, for instance, the verses that say the Quran is clear and explained, that mentions, and we sent down this book that's clear. So I'm asking the Muslims, what book? I'm like, really, what book? And then a Muslim tried to tell me, no, it's not a book. It's scriptures and this and that. And then I looked at all Then I looked at all the translators using my website that I use, and 54 of I think the 60 translators, they all said book. I had John Isaac come into the room, and he says, no, it's talking about a book. One Muslim was trying to tell me that chapter 16, I think 1689, was in the future tense, but the verse said, and we sent down the book. Well, if we sent down, that can't be a future tense. That means we sent down. That's now. It's present. Or we revealed. Well, if it says we revealed, that means it's in the past tense. So it's very entertaining to see the tricks that Muslims try to employ. And of course, when I nail them, they run out of the room. So all right, let's go.
But it's usual to run out of the room.
Yeah. So let's go back. So far, we know that Adam has sons. Okay.
May I cut you just for 1 minute? Just
sure.
For a minute. I have a bad news. Sure. I have a very bad news. Not for us, but for the Muslims.
Oh, okay.
So, dear Muslims, it is very bad. Our brother in Christ, Rob Christian, he just presented some sessions ago how Muhammad was spreading the satanic verses. What we, not one of us knew, that he did that for 8 years. Very damaging. But if we go in the Quran, chapter Surah 15, ayah 42 and 43, it is very clearly, there is saying very clearly that Allah will, the one who, wait a second, find my phone. I think I found it even saved here because it's very, very, very damaging. Yeah, stupid book. What the stupid.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get my tablet to work, but this damn thing is not working.
No problem, but I found it already. Wait a second. It is okay. I will. This is satanic. So 42. Where is 42? 42.
Yeah, I saw that video because it's actually really not really new because I've seen it before. Oh, look, we got a bot. Ahma Hakaba. Okay.
No contest. No problem. Ahmad blah blah. And we'll look it here, dear Muslim. Al-Hijr, the Rocky Tact. So Surah 15, Ayah 42. You will certainly have no authority over my servants except the deviant who follow you. It's Allah is talking to Satan.
Right.
And this is Mustafa Katab, the clear Quran. Indeed, my servants, no authority you will have over them except those who follow you of the deviators. Sahih International. And we go 43. And surely hell is their destined place altogether. Mustafa Katab, the clear Quran. And indeed, hell is the promised place for them all. Sahih International. So, dear Muslims, let us go back to the square one. Why do you follow Muhammad? Because he is burning in hell according to the Quran. Thank you very much. That is what I wanted to say. I'm sure I am sorry for the interruption.
No, that's okay. Let me see. Am I unmuted? Yeah. Okay. So let's go back and let's see what kind of problems do we have here. So we know it says 27, and recite to them the news with the truth of the sons of Adam when they each offered an offering. Okay. So the sons of Adam. We don't know how many sons. Is it 2? Is it 3? Is it 4? Is it 5? Okay. Then it goes on to say, so it was accepted from one of them and not accepted from the other. So we don't know which one was accepted and which one wasn't. And then it goes on to say, he said, surely I will kill you. He said, surely Allah only accepts from the fear of. Okay, so I'm confused. Who's the one that's speaking that said, surely I will kill you? And who's the one that said, surely Allah only accepts from the fear of? It sounds like it's two different individuals. One says, I'm going to kill you. And the other one says, but Allah's only going to accept from the one that fears him. Okay. If you stretch your hand against me to kill me, I will not stretch my hand to kill you. Okay. Surely I fear Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Again, Muslims, my whole contention is if I am given this book called the Quran, and I don't know anything about it except that somebody gives me this book and says, "Hey, this book is from God the Creator, right? And it's the speech of God." Okay, and I'm reading it, and it's supposed to be perfect. And I read it, and of course we know that there's verses in the Quran, and I believe. Let me see. Have I covered any of them? Have we gotten? Because we're only on chapter 5. I am trying to figure out if any of those verses that I talked about actually are chapter. No, we haven't gotten there yet. So, but there's verses in the Quran, like chapter 6, verse 114, that says the book was revealed, explained in detail. Okay, well, so please, how come when I read this book that's explained in detailed, I don't know who these sons are. I don't know which son killed the other one. Forget about the names, but obviously, without the names, we're not going to know which son killed which son. All right. So this guy says, "Okay, hey, if you raise your hand to kill me," having lappy issues for the first time. Okay, man, poor poor Paul. He's just having problems today. Okay, so if you stretch your hand against me and to kill me, I will not stretch my hand to kill you. Surely I fear Allah, the Lord of the world. Surely I desire that you will bear my sin and your sins, so that you will become among the companions of the fire. So this brother is saying, I want you to bear my sins, but I thought nobody can bear anybody else's sins. So how is this person going to bear your sins? Unless he's talking about the sin of murdering him, which would be, I'm not even sure that would be correct, because if I kill you, that's my sin. I killed you. I committed the sin. So why would I?
Yeah.
Why would I bear your sin? What is your sin? What sin did this individual commit that his brother is going to bear? Okay, so that you will be among the companions of the fire, and that is the reward of the unjust. Okay.
Yeah.
So his soul persuaded him to kill his brother. So he killed
Yeah.
him. So he became of the losers. Now, we all know that according to Muslims, when we say that Jesus created the clay birds, that they say, no. He did that with the permission of Allah. Using that logic, it was by permission of Allah that one individual killed the other, that one brother killed the other brother. So Allah gave permission, because if everything is with the permission of Allah, so that means me being on YouTube dissecting the Quran, it's by permission of Allah. Allah gave me
Amen.
permission to do this. So guess what? I'm going to accept his challenge and I'm going to do it. Okay, so now we go to 31. This is going to get good. Okay, so Allah sent a raven. Oh, okay, but wait a minute. So he did kill him. Okay, he became of the losers. Okay, 31. So Allah sent a raven which searched on the earth to show him. Okay, Allah. Okay, man, this is so. So Allah sent a raven which searched on the earth to show him how he might bury his brother. So am I to assume that Allah sends the raven, but doesn't send it to this brother that needs to bury his other brother? So he has the raven search the earth. Why couldn't Allah just send a raven to the guy? Why did the poor raven have to go around flying left and right to find his brother to show him how to bury him? So somebody said, which we know this now clearly has to be the brother that killed the other brother. Hot dogs. Oh man, I love hot dogs. Woohoo! Okay, so he said, "Woe is to me, I am unable to become like this raven. So I will hide my brother's body." So he became of those who regret.
So it is dead, and he will regret,
So
regret
I
also.
oh, okay, yeah, but see, Allah sends the raven to show him how to bury his brother, but then he's
Yeah.
saying, "So I will hide." Oh, okay, I am unable to become like this raven. What does he mean? Does he mean he's
Um,
unable to fly away and uh, uh, run away from his from where he's at from the crime
okay.
that he did? So
He
I will
became
hide my brother's body.
with
Why
what?
is
With the
this?
wings.
But here's the thing. Okay, now I understand that uh, there's no punctuations in Arabic, so I don't know. First of all, Osama, that is not a question. It doesn't say, "How will I hide my?" Maybe it says, "How will I hide my brother's
So
body?"
I
But it's not a question. When you say, "So I will hide my brother's body," that's a statement. It didn't need to have a question mark there. So he
yeah.
became of those who regret. Okay. But so far we have Adam has sons. Okay. We don't know how many, but clearly one of his sons killed the other son, but we don't know which one. We don't know exactly why, but we know that Allah refused to accept the offer of one of them. We don't know why the reason Allah accepted one over the other one.
But wait, you
So
just said that Quran it is
it's supposed to
the
be
all
clear and
explaining
detailed,
book,
right?
huh?
So this clear detail book is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
just not doing it for me. I'm pretty sure it's not doing it for you, and I'm pretty sure it's not doing for, I guess, the two people that are on that are on here.
Uh,
I thought I had more than two. I got Roughneck, Bullet. I got XYZ. I mean, I gotta have
but
more than two people. Maybe
uh,
YouTube is playing around. Okay, so now we go to 32.
no, no,
Now
no.
this
Before you, no, wait a second. Before you go there, did you found the winning numbers to the lottery, eh? In the
I wish
Quran?
I wish I could. Maybe I wouldn't even bother doing this. Not that I make money out of this, but yeah, no, I actually don't play the lotto, but I need to. Okay, so here we go.
Yeah,
The 532. Now, if
yeah.
you're familiar with Muslims, Muslims will one of the ways that Muslims will tell you that is Israel, that Islam is a peaceful religion. They will tell you that it's because in the Quran, Allah says or Allah forbids a Muslim from killing an innocent person. Is this
Uh,
true? This is the verse
uh,
that they use, 532. Now,
but
Osama,
they are no, no, they are right when the Quran regards to them. When the Quran is looking to us, it's not so
right.
peaceful, you know.
Well, there's two problems, and I'll go over them after we read it. Now, Osama's translation says for this reason, which my translation says we ordained, but that's okay. For this reason, we inscribed for the children of Israel that he who kills a soul without a soul, okay, so he who kills a
Oh.
soul without a soul or vandalizes on the earth, so it will be only as though he had killed all the people, and that he who gives it a life, it will be as though he had given life. I'm really starting to hate Osama's translation. I may have to switch to something else. He does more damage than I do. I mean, um, though it was given life to all the people, and indeed our messengers came to them with proof, then surely most of them after that are extravagant on the earth. I don't know what that means. Okay, so let's see. This is a command for the children of Israel. Now, yesterday I asked a couple Muslims in the room, who are the children of Israel? And one Muslim tried to tell me, oh, no, 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 no. Israel means captive. It really says the children of captives. Okay, so who killed? Okay, so this has nothing to do with the Muslims. This is a command that was given to the children of Israel. Are Muslims considered to be children of Israel? I don't think so. Okay,
No,
now, but the
no.
next verse, the next verse is very important. You want to say something?
No, the Muslims are ignorant
Oh, okay. Yeah. So,
because Israel means the one that fought with God and won. I think you will not Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. You will not be calling yourself Jacob, but Israel, because you fought with God and won. If I remember correctly, the scriptures.
right. So,
Okay.
but this next verse surely is for the Muslims. Surely the reward of those who war against Allah and his messenger and go about to vandalize on the earth is only that they will be killed or crucified or have their hands and legs cut off on the opposite sides or they will be banished from the earth. Hey, I don't like it. I mean, I
It's
don't like
very
it.
clear, right?
I don't like a few of these choices. Yeah, I'm not down with being killed. I'm not down with being crucified. I mean, what's the difference? If I'm killed, what's the difference between being killed and crucified? I
Can
mean, you're
we
dead.
choose what arm and leg
Right.
should we
But
keep?
but I'm going to be dead regardless. So the method is irrelevant to me. I'm dead. Or have their hands and legs cut off from the opposite side. So you're basically going to make a person useless, right? That person will no longer have a life. It will have to rely on somebody or the government, okay? Or banished from the earth. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Okay.
that means on the sea, right? No?
Huh?
This means on the sea. If you are banished from the earth, this means
No, no,
on the
no,
sea.
no. What do you mean? You mean like the sea, like the ocean?
Yep.
No, no, no. This basically means that how do you banish somebody from the earth? Maybe Allah's going to send them to space. Maybe he's going to send them to the moon because it's not banished to the sea because the seas are part of the earth. So in order for me to be banished from the earth, I got to travel through space to go somewhere. Where am I going?
Mars.
Now
We go to Mars.
the other interpretation of this is I'm going to be killed, but I've already been killed. I've been killed, I've been crucified, or I've had my hands and legs cut off. So banished
Uh,
from the earth is a poor choice of words. Maybe banished from the land that they're in. Okay, I can dig that. But if you banish me from the earth, you're throwing my ass into the space, which
do
I'm going
we have? Yeah, yeah. Do we have any imam to clear us up?
to.
Because it is clear that the Quran is not so clear. Clearly, the Quran is not so clear.
Right. Yeah, maybe they're gonna send me to the moon, but wait a minute. The moon was split in two. So,
No, this is
which part
no,
of the moon? Which part of the
no.
moon is
It
Allah
is
gonna send me?
no. The moon was not split. It is in the what is that book in the Old Testament? Well, let me find. It is either the Proverbs of Solomon or the Ecclesiastes. Clearly said that Jesus put a neutron shield around the moon so that Muhammad cannot split it. It's clearly said there, and Muslims, I invite you to read those books to see that it's true what I'm saying.
I just think Muhammad didn't know what an eclipse was. Let's continue.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So this is their okay. This is their disgrace in this world, and in the hereafter, they will have a great torment. But if I'm banished from the earth,
Yeah.
okay, now unless the world means everything, all the different cosmic galaxies and all that other stuff. Okay, now we go to 34. No, there's an exception. Okay,
Okay,
if
but
those who repent before you overpower them. Okay, so that means you are fighting them, right? Or you're going to fight them, right? If
yeah,
you repent
yeah.
before you fight them, so know that Allah is forgiving, merciful. What kind of loving, merciful, forgiving God says that you're to be killed or crucified or have your hands and legs cut off on opposite
So,
sides or that you will be
so
banished from the earth and thrown into space? Maybe you will be using one of those missiles that Allah has in his armory, where he uses to shoot down the jinn, right? So maybe there's a space shuttle that Allah uses to send you to banish you from the earth. Oh you who believe. Oh, you who believe, fear Allah and desire a way to him, and perform jihad for his sake, and perhaps you may prosper. So if you go out and fight for Allah's sake, you may prosper. Now, let me ask you a question. If somebody said, hey, if you go to war, okay, maybe I'm going to give you this. What do you mean, maybe? What do you mean if I go to war, I may prosper? That's not a...
jihad for his sake. For whose sake? For Allah's sake. So Allah is important, right?
That is not a good... that's not going to motivate me to go and do jihad. Hold on a second. Paul just got in here. Brother Paul, good to see you worked out your technical difficulties.
I left the computer off for 5 minutes in my frustration, and finally it just started to work again.
You know,
I just know that it's working.
I've done that before, where I got so frustrated, I just left the computer off overnight, woke up in the morning, and the darn thing worked. You know, it's technology, but I'm glad you're here, and you're stead. We had Black Mamba, and we're just having fun. Hey, Adam, how's it going?
Hello.
Hey, doctor, you got to stop changing your name. It probably hinders your growth. Just saying. Yeah, I know, man. It's just that it's a little shorter on the screen. So, you know, the people that know me know that Kufrophobia, Dr. Kufrophobia, it's the same person. And okay, so you haven't frozen. Okay, so we're on. Okay, since you missed it, let's go back. Okay, because I know you're going to get a laugh at this. We left off in verse
26.
Yeah, 26, 27. So he said, so surely it is forbidden for them 40 years. They will be lost on earth, so do not grieve. Okay. All right, so now 27. Now this is talking about Moses, right? Because it was Moses who went around.
Yeah, they said in their verse 24, they were talking about, oh, Moses surely will never enter, whatever. Okay, yeah.
Right. So all of a sudden, now we get to Cain and Abel. Well, I'm sorry.
I guess Cain and Abel come after Moses.
Yeah. So, okay, so right after Moses, we're told that Moses, had to go around, or the promised land was forbidden from him and his people for 40 years. So they were lost on the earth, which we discussed. That's not true. They weren't lost.
No, they were never lost.
Right, they were never lost. But all of a sudden,
they had a directional. They had a light at night, and they had a cloud during the day.
Right. So, and I'm pretty sure they knew the directions better than you and me if we were left in there. But here's the funny thing, which I didn't even notice until now. That's why, usually when you hear it, you remind. Now, all of a sudden, we jump to verse 27, and recite to them the news with the truth of the sons of Adam, when they each offered an offering. So it was accepted from one of them and not accepted from the other one. So I was telling Black Mamba, okay, so I know Adam had kids. It's clear. I don't have a problem with that. I know one, there was each one offered an offering. Now, I don't know how many sons, because sons could be anything more than two. So it was accepted from one of them and not the other. So clearly, these two sons, there was one son that gave an offering, and the other son gave an offering. But
we just know there's two or more is what we really know. We don't know how many sons.
Right, but
let us say that is Muhammad and Ali.
Right, but we know that at least of these sons, how many they are, we don't know. One of them, or two of them, made an offering, right? And one was rejected, and one was accepted. Now we don't know what these offerings were. We don't know what one offered compared to the other, so we know why. Okay. Then all of a sudden it jumps. He said, "Surely I will kill you." Who said that? He said, surely Allah only accepts from the fear. Clearly, this is now the other brother saying, one brother says, surely I will kill you. And the other brother says, surely Allah only accepts from the fear. But I don't know who these he said. He said, she said, but I don't know any of them.
Good question. I mean, which one said what?
Right. We don't know.
I mean, is the one who's threatening to kill the one who's offering that was accepted?
Hey, you know what, Paul? I think I'm going to use this today later on if I open up a room on Clubhouse, or if I go into a room, I'm going to ask a Muslim from your clear, explained, detailed book. Can you answer my questions regarding this? So then we go to 28. If you stretch your hand against me to kill me, I will not stretch my hand to kill you. Okay, I got the idea. One brother's telling the other brother, hey, bro, if you're going to kill me, go ahead and kill me. I'm not going to stop you. Surely I fear Allah, the Lord of the world. Again, which brother fears Allah and which brother is the killer? Who's the victim and who's the perpetrator? Surely I desire that you will bear my sin and your sins. No, okay, now how can this?
Wait a minute. They're not talking about Allah. And who's talking? Wait a minute. Who's talking here? Surely I desire that you will bear my.
Well, it's one of the two brothers.
So one brother's gonna bear the sin.
Yes.
That's okay. So I don't remember God ever talking about a human bearing sin. I mean, bearing the sin of another in.
Right. And even in Islamic theology, I'm told that nobody can bear the sins of another. This right here says otherwise.
I have a proposition.
Go ahead.
How about an exercise of imagination? Do you imagine this as a Shakespearean opera interpreted by Muhammad Hijab and Ali Drama? Can you imagine that? Because I imagine I just laugh like an idiot in front of the computer.
Okay, so also if you read the hadiths, they also contradict the fact that nobody can bear the sins of another, because at the day of judgment, Allah is going to take the sins of the worst Muslim. I mean, he can have sins as high as a mountain. Don't worry about that, Muslim. Allah is going to place the sins on the Jews and the Christians. Isn't that bearing the sins of another, Paul?
Sure sounds like it.
Okay,
basically it sounds like you can scrape off your sins and put them on someone else, so you don't have to pay the price.
So what we read in verse 29 is one brother, it's the brother that's going to get killed, is saying, surely I desire that you bear my sin and your sin, so that you will become among the companions of the fire. But one brother didn't commit a sin, but the other brother did, killed. I killed my brother. I committed a sin. My brother did not commit a sin. Okay, so I can't bear his sin. We don't know what sin of the other brother that he's going to bear. So this just gets worse and worse. So surely I desire that you will bear my sin and your sin, so that you will become among the companions of fire. So this guy's saying, hey, go ahead, kill me, buddy, because
so wait a minute.
So this way you
Who's
can
go to hell, the guy who does the murder or the guy that just died? The way I read this, it's not clear.
The guy, well, it's supposed to be the guy who does the murdering, but the brothers
that's not even clear, because it says, surely I desire that you'll bear my sins and your sins, so that you will become among the companions of the fire. So the guy who bears this sin goes to the fire.
Right.
So he's saying the guy who gets killed goes to hell.
You could say that, or you could say that the guy who kills is the one who's going to bear the sin of.
No. The one who's getting killed is bearing the sin. Surely decide that you will bear my sin and your sin, so that you will become of the. So he's going to put him in hell. So the living can condemn someone to hell, is what it sounds like.
Your guess is as good as mine. I kind of read a difference. But you're right. I mean, it's up to interpretation. You could say that the guy who lived, which is the guy who killed the brother, is going to bear the sins of the brother, and also of the killing in his sins. And of course, hellfire is the reward of the unjust. So his soul persuaded him to kill his brother, so he killed him, so he became of the losers. And I was telling Mamba, you've heard that when we bring up the verse in the Quran where it says that Jesus created birds out of clay, what's the first thing that Muslims tell you? It was by the permission of Allah, correct?
Yeah.
That is correct.
So Isa needed the permission of Allah to do something. By that logic, that brother who killed the other brother had permission, or I should say, got permission from Allah to kill him. Because if Allah is the one who gives permission to, okay, unless they're going to say, well, that only applies to Isa because he was doing a miracle. Okay, but that's not going to fly. So then we go to verse 31. Okay, so this one gets funny. So Allah sent a raven which searched on the earth to show him how he might bury his brother's body. Now, my question is, why did Allah not send the raven directly to the brother who committed the murder? Why did the raven have to search on earth? Did the raven find him? We don't know. So he said, again, we don't know who was saying. We know it's the brother who killed the other brother, but we don't know who this guy is. Woe is to me. I am unable to become like this raven. What exactly do you mean I am unable to become like this raven? I thought the raven was supposed to come to show you how to bury the body. So then he says, obviously he was unable to bury the body because he was stupid. Maybe didn't have the proper
this brings in a whole slew of other
possibilities. You don't send Jibril, right?
Huh?
You don't send Jibril. You send
no, he should have.
Right?
He should have sent debris with a maybe a backhoe or a shovel at least.
Have you ever heard of the term snake walker?
Yeah.
Where they believe you can transmogrify, type thing your body into something it's not. Like you can change yourself from a human to a cat or stuff like that.
Right.
And, okay, so Allah's now talking about a human becoming like a raven. Like, okay, if we're bringing in mythology, it's here.
Right.
Yeah.
So I will hide my brother's body. So how did he hide the brother's body? Where did he hide it? So he became of those who regret. Why didn't Allah
so Allah's teaching him how to hide his sins is what it looks like.
It could be, but I still don't understand. Allah sent a raven to show him how to bury his brother's body.
No.
But he says,
hold on.
Make a mistake here. Allah sent a raven which searched on the earth to show him what search we don't know, but he searched. The raven searched on the earth to show.
Right, but we can kind of deduce that the raven did get to him because he says, "Oh, woe is me! I am unable to become like this raven." So he can't transform into a raven. But if the raven came to show him how to bury his brother's body, the raven was very bad at it because he didn't bury his body. He says, I will hide my brother's body. There's a difference between hiding and burying. Well, I mean, yes, you could say that, when you bury the body, you're hiding it. But I can bury the body requires me to bury the body in the ground. Hey, I can throw my brother's body, over the cliff. I can throw him into the river. I can,
So here's another thing you can bring up there with your friends there. Allah's poor communication.
Right. And then he
that's where I think a passage like this would have been fun with Aladdin should he have accepted my.
Oh yeah, this is definitely good. I was telling Black Mama before you came on that I may use this exact from 27 to like 30 because It's going to be good. I want to see them squirm. You should have seen them squirm about the chapter 21:30 about the water. Okay, now you're familiar. Now you should be familiar with this verse because this is the famous verse that Muslims use to say, "Come on, man, Islam is peaceful. Look, you see, Allah says we're not supposed to kill the innocent."
Oh, but they leave out the beginning of the verse.
Oh yeah, but not only that, in Islam, who is an innocent? Muslims.
Only Muslims.
That's right. So what does that mean? Everybody else, fair game. So Osama's, which I'm starting not to really like his translation. I mean, I love the brother, but this is killing me.
Okay.
He's not really helping me. I hope his new one, when he gets it out, is much better. For this reason, we inscribed for the children of Israel. Now, my version says ordained, but that's okay. Same thing. That who kills a soul. Okay. Who kills a soul without a soul? What does that mean?
I think that's the same question that Usama would ask.
Okay,
I mean,
it's
not.
Let me bring up the Islam Awaken. Let's go to chapter 5, verse 1. And let me go over here so I can see all of them. Okay, over here. And which verse was this?
532.
Okay, 532. Okay, so in this word for word, it says, from that time, so after, Cain and Abel, from that time we ordained, oh, this is even worse. From that time we ordained on the children of Israel that he who kills a soul other than for a soul, that makes more different. That sounds better than
I don't know.
A soul without a soul. I mean, I don't.
Okay. It's confusing no matter how you look at this.
Right. Or for
again, another great example of how great a communicator Allah is.
Or for spreading corruption in the earth, then it is.
He needs to. Can you speak up a little? We can't hear you. At least I can't.
Yeah.
Hear me now?
Barely.
Hear me or not? Wait a second. I'll go back and try to restart because this is a stupid mic.
Okay. So Paul, just let me know when you see him, if you can see him in the backstage. So
okay, I'll watch.
Okay, so okay, from that time
I can't see him in the backstage, but I'll if he leaves a private chat note, I'll
okay. We ordained. Okay, so we ordained on the children of Israel that he who kills a soul other than for a soul, or for spreading corruption on the earth, then it is as if he killed the mankind all, and whoever saves it, meaning the soul, then it's as if he saved the mankind all. And surely came to them our messengers with clear signs, yet indeed many of them after the earth, many of them after that in the earth are surely those who commit excesses. Now, maybe just me, but I'm seeing a problem because it says after the brother A killed brother B, we ordained to the children of Israel, but there's a long time gap.
This is where Allah doesn't know that there's he doesn't know that Adam and Eve came before Moses. He doesn't.
I mean, the timeline is like Adam would have been from time 0, which I think they say it's translated to like 4,000 BC or something. But I mean, the impression that I'm getting is that right after this happened, then the children of Israel were told, about this verse, but that's a long time between, brother Adam and the children of Israel. And then we go to 33, which this verse is much better for the Muslims, which is the one they use. And I'm going to read, I'm going to go back to Osama's. Surely the reward for those who war against Allah and his messenger and go about to vandalize on the earth is only that they will be killed or crucified or have their hands and legs cut off on the opposite sides, or they will be banished from the earth. Let me see this one here, 532. See, his translation is way bigger, and his translation does not make sense, because how can you be, in order for you to be banished from the earth, that would require you to be thrown into space. Now, the word for word makes sense.
Okay.
Okay, now the word for word says, okay, so only the recompense for those who wage war against Allah and his messenger and strive in the earth, spreading corruption, is that they be killed, or they be crucified, or be cut off their hands and feet of opposite sides, or they be exiled from the land. Now that makes sense. Being what was it, what did he say, being banished from the earth is kind of problematic, because that implies you're getting thrown into space.
I'm looking for that verse I'm on Islam Awakened myself. I'm just taking a look.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at the Islam Awakened. As a matter,
You get to the word for word.
Yeah, go to click on the word for words, and it's like that one makes better sense, because when I read banished from the earth, okay, that means I'm getting thrown in. I'm either going to be killed, which I'm already killed. Just depends on how I'm going to get killed. You know, am I going to get killed? Am I going to get crucified? Which I'm going to die. But that whole banished from the earth, that implies that
I think I'm on the wrong verse here.
You're thrown into space, which is 33.
33. That's why
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong verse.
Yeah. It's the one that says only the recompense.
Only the recompense for those who wage war, strive in the earth, spreading corruption, they'll be killed, I think that's, or be crucified.
Yeah.
Or be cut off.
I'll be right back, Paul. So you go on. I'm going to have to
cut off their hands and their feet of opposite sides, and they'll be exiled from the land. Actually, that's pretty much the same thing, because earth and land are in this time period. Hebrew and many other languages use earth and land synonymously. So you're thinking earth and planet. That's where I wasn't thinking. I apologize. So that's what, you're talking about earth as a planet. They're talking about earth as land. And that word in general, in Hebrew, it would be Adama. And it can refer, usually earth is Adama in Hebrew. And it's not that unusual. I remember my Hebrew. It's been so long. Eretz, it's not that I believe is land. It's been so long since I've done Hebrew. Their concept of earth at this time is ground. So that's not. It's the same exact meaning.
Well, but still, I mean, land makes more sense. Because
think well, for people who are, that's the thing. We have to read this with the mind of a 7th century imaginary prophet. And if that's the concept they're communicating and they're talking, that's where I think the more literal, I think the guy who used land was being generous. That's my thought. Because there are two words in Hebrew, but I think that this word may actually be earth, and the person who used land was being generous. Because, it is confusing, but if you're not understanding the time period that language this far back, earth meant ground. There was no statement that earth meant a planet back then.
I mean, we could agree to disagree. It's one of those, again, it's one of those that you're shaking. I mean, if I'm reading it, I mean, first of all, I don't really know what they would use back then.
Yeah, I only know because I studied languages. Yeah.
Is there anything, let's say, in the Bible where it says you're going to be exiled from the earth? I don't think so.
Well, No, exiled from the land.
being
They'll
exiled
talk about
or
being kept
banished.
out of the land, and I believe the word is eretz then. But that is, I see that's like they're being told that they're going to be in the wilderness still. That's the closest I can come to with it. This is really really confusing because it seems like Allah doesn't know the difference between Moses. He has all the time periods mixed up, is what I see in this, and that's. I think that this chapter by itself is an outstanding example of confusion, and that Allah is not clear.
Okay, because I'm looking at the Bible search for. Okay, what was the word that was used?
I mean, maybe that's the thing we all need to be doing, offering to debate that the Allah's word. I mean, you want to stand and say Allah's word is clear, so let's read it. Let's do that debate on that topic. It seems they all run away from that. We all know why.
I'm looking at the Bible and I did a search for the word exiled, right?
Yeah.
And son against the Lord who had brought them out from Egypt. Okay, that's just the title. That's not in the verse. If you go to 2 Kings 17:28, it says, so one of the priests who had been exiled from Samaria, very clear, okay, there's no ambiguity. I don't have to wonder, am I getting thrown out of the planet or something? Then we go to Nehemiah 1:9. But if you return to me and obey my commands, then even if your exiled people are the furthest, that's different. Okay, we know it's talking about people that were exiled. I don't have a problem with that. We go to Isaiah 27:13. Those who were perishing in Assyria and those who were exiled in Egypt, very clear. I understand what's going on here. Isaiah 49, I was exiled and rejected. I honestly don't have a problem, okay, because it's not telling me to be exiled. I mean, we could say exiled where. That's not a problem, but I don't see, okay, exiled among the nations, exiled and carried away. Okay, I mean, but again, this is a book that Muslims tell me it's perfect and cleared. Okay, so I'm not getting anything that's clear. Okay, so so they get banished from the earth. Okay, this is the disgrace in this world and in the hereafter. Okay, they get a great torment. Allah loves torment.
Okay, so again, this is the disgrace in this world and hereafter. This is as clear as mud. You get a reward for those who war against Allah and His messenger and about to vandalize the earth. Only they'll be killed and crucified. So who does the killing? Who does the crucifying?
Right.
Or have their hands and legs cut off? This is Allah giving his minions permission to kill and to maim those who don't agree. That's what I view this as. Nothing more and nothing less. It's Allah giving permission to his minions to kill and physically maim. I mean, by cutting off hands, and it's just really a disgusting passage. I don't know another way to look at it. But it's not clear.
Right. So 33 basically says anybody, or I should say the reward for those who, wage war against Allah and his messenger and go about to vandalize on the earth. Yeah, I'm not quite sure that. It's only to be, because some translations say to spread corruption. If you would read in Islam Awaken, they would say to spread corruption on the earth is only that, okay, you be killed, you be crucified, you have your hands and legs cut off at opposite sides, or you will be banished from the land. This is going to be their disgrace in this world, and in the hereafter they will have a great torment. So it's not bad enough that you're going to be killed, or you're going to be crucified, or you're going to have your hands cut off, okay, and legs from opposite sides, or maybe if they're feeling generous, Paul, they might just banish you from the land. So you might be able to walk out with your 2 hands and 2 legs and your head still attached. So know that Allah is forgiving. That doesn't sound like forgiving. All you who believe, fear Allah and desire the way to him. Now this one's even nice. And perform jihad for his sake. Perhaps you might prosper. Why the hell am I going to perform jihad if I don't know if I'm going to prosper? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Again, according to Reliance the Traveler, jihad means to war against the non-Muslim. That's their definition.
Right, but here's my concern. It says to perform jihad, irrelevant who they're performing it against. We know who it is, for his sake. So Allah wants you to perform jihad, meaning you probably will die for his sake, and perhaps he's going to make you prosper. What kind of fool is going to perform jihad and get killed and not know if he's going to prosper, or maybe he ain't going to get shit?
Well, you know what? We have to keep remembering that Muhammad started out as a failed raider. And when he left Medina, and when he left Mecca, he was a failed raider. And many of the raids he sent people on, telling them they would be successful, they got beat miserably.
Right.
So I think Muhammad here is so. I know it's supposed to be Allah speaking, but I think he lacks so much confidence. He's afraid to tell people they're going to win because he's been beaten so badly. That's the closest I can come to a comprehension of this.
Right, but Allah gives you a loophole in 34. Okay, it says, except those who repent before that you overpower them. Okay, so you're going to have to repent before, the Muslims overpower you and win. Then know that Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Okay.
So this is the reasoning. They are supposed to send out a statement to you before they attack you, saying convert, or basically, or die. So they'll record in their histories that they've sent out letters to this king or that king or this emperor or that emperor, saying we're going to come kill you unless you do this. And usually what the emperors do is they say, yeah, screw you. I ain't going to do it. And this is their claim, that they had done this. And, that's their whole, it's not necessarily a loophole. It is their excuse for attacking is what it is.
Right.
It's not a loophole. It is their statement. Well, you didn't agree with us, so we're going to kill you.
All right. Let me just answer Brother Roughneck. Hey, Roughneck, you said kufrophobia. Try to be aware of the people in the chat on YouTube. It's a little bit impossible for me, Roughneck, because
I'll pay more attention.
Right. I don't know what he means by paying attention. Is there questions? Because I think we have at least 1 or 2 mods. But the problem is, Roughneck, I am in a different browser tab. So I'm reading a book. I don't see. I'm not even on YouTube. So I don't see the chats unless I come back to either YouTube or to StreamYard. So most of my time I am reading and scrolling. I can't scroll on StreamYard. So I apologize. I think you are a mod. You have my permission to, smack somebody if you have to.
I want to say thank you to XYZ for putting in the Hebrew word Adama, which does translate as ground or earth. Yeah. Yes, I wanted to say thank you. She put it in there. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. So, okay, let me go back to the generous Quran. So 34. Okay. Surely though. Okay. Oh, you who believe, fear Allah and desire the way to him, and perform jihad for his sake, and perhaps you might be prosperous. No. I mean, I need to know that I'm going to be prosperous, or my family is going to be well compensated for me dying. This just going to battle, jihads, okay, for the sake of Allah, just ain't cutting it for me. And I know,
and again, you don't have a guarantee of income, and that's, I mean, you don't.
Right.
I guess the way that the concern here is if he told everybody they'd get income, then they'd all go. But if they die, then Allah is a liar. So I think that's why he's saying perhaps.
Right.
Well,
I mean, I need a little bit more.
You know what the big thing here is? You know what it really is? Allah doesn't know.
Now, see, Brother Yahya over here is doing his dawah, and he says,
Yeah.
"Go check your Bible, which say to kill all the town."
Well, we're only talking about the Quran. That's so hard about him to understand. Yeah, did anybody mention the Bible just now? I mean, because I didn't. We were talking about this incredibly unclear Quran.
Right. He also doesn't understand the context and the background between why that's in there. This is not a Bible study, so I'm not even going to bother with it. Okay. Surely those who became infidels, if they had what is on earth together, and like it with it, what the hell? Okay. Surely those who became infidels, and if they, I actually feel sorry for Osama that had to go through this crap.
Yeah.
Because anybody who tries to put this in any kind of coherent sentence is going to probably lose their hair. So I may not have too much hair after this series. Surely of those who become infidels, okay, if they have what is on earth together and like it with it, have what on earth together and like it with it, okay, to ransom themselves by it from the torment of the resurrection day. Oh my lordy, 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 lordy. It will not be accepted from them. So I guess if you offer Allah a bribe from stuff that's on the earth, you're still gonna get tormented on the resurrection day. So ladies and gentlemen, don't try, okay? And they will have a painful torment, okay? I mean, we've only been in chapter 5, and we got a clear picture. Allah loves to torment the hell out of you.
Yes, in fact, he'd rather have you sin so he can torment. That's what we've learned by the Quran so far.
Now, I know it's early. We're in verse 37. Have you read anything that deals with a table?
No.
No table.
Is this supposed to be the book about a table? I mean, the chapter about a table?
Yes, it's called the chapter of the table.
Oh, can you drop the that is Yahya's thing so we can see the scriptures a little bit better?
Okay, actually, let me put this in full screen so we don't block the bottom either. Okay, so they desire, and they will have painful torment, they desire to get out from the fire, but they will not come out of it, and they will have a long-lasting torment. You're going to be tormented, and brother, it's going to be a long time. Okay, Muslims cut the hands of those who steal. Okay, 38. Now, I don't know how we came to this, but I guess it's part of the corruption of the land. And the male thief and the female thief, so cut off their hands, a reward of what they earned as punishment from Allah. So the punishment, but I thought it was only cutting off one hand. Now, again, Islam, if they follow this practice, there's going to be a lot of people on welfare.
Well, I think it's worse than that. Not only on welfare. See, when you cut off a person's hand.
No, but this is hand.
Yeah.
So now you and I are getting both of our hands cut. We can't even wipe our ass. Mm-hmm. We can't eat. We basically are useless now. So somebody's going to have to take care of us, either our family or the Islamic Caliphate government.
That's the big issue. Is you become dependent.
Okay. And Allah is dear and wise. Okay, Allah is dear, but he's going to cut off both of their hands. Let me see what this is 38. Let me see what the word for word. No, okay. It says, and for the male and the female thief, then cut off their hands. Yep, it doesn't say one hand. It says 2 hands, but I thought it was you cut off one hand, and then if they steal again, you cut off one leg, and then if they steal again, you cut off the other hand. But basically, Allah is making people dependent on the governments, on the family members. So now Allah is going to burden the family members because this person is going to need somebody to feed them, somebody to wash them, somebody to wipe their butt. Somebody to take them to the toilet. So this person is no better than being a dead person because they're not going to be able to do anything except walk and eat. That's it. You cannot hold your pecker to piss. So now you're going to piss on yourself, and Allah is going to torment you on the grave. Oh man, this stuff is getting juicy, man. Isn't
that what Allah likes to do? Is this another way for him to torture people? I mean, I thought Allah liked torture. This kind of thing.
What I'm seeing here is lots of segues into small videos. Okay, but that's later on. Okay, okay. So you're gonna have both of your hands. So whoever.
Just a second. I want to point out we're now in verse 38. We're still waiting for the table to show up.
Right. Okay. but listen, this gets better. So according to 38, if you steal, you're gonna get your hands cut off. Right? That is your reward as a punishment from Allah. Allah is dear and wise. Now this gets better. So whoever repents after his injustice and reforms, does that mean I get to keep my hands?
Oh no, he's going to imaginarily attach them.
Or is this after my hands are cut off?
Well,
because if it's after my hands are cut off, I'm gonna give Allah the birdie, but I don't have a finger.
I don't think you get a chance to reform if I'm reading this correctly.
Yeah.
You earn your punishment, then you might be able to repent. Usually, punishment and reform come after a penalty. Punishment comes first. I'm sorry. It says whoever repents after his injustice and reforms. I don't think they give you an Again, reform comes after a punishment, not before.
See, I'm trying. I'm trying to see it. I believe it's like you. This is after they cut off your hands, which would be useless. I also want to see it that they're going to give you the opportunity to reform, or I should say, repent.
While you're there. So, it's interesting.
Let me look at
your verse talks about taking off both hands. Your Quran says you get caught once, they take off both hands. So you make them dependent. Nobody's mentioning your biblical scriptures. We're all talking about just the Quran. Right? We're only going to mention that, so please don't go there. What's the problem with just discussing this? Are you afraid to discuss the Quran?
Oh, okay. I'm reading the tafsir. So according to Ibn Abbas, it says, but whoso repented after his wrongdoing, after his theft and being punished. So why the blank would I want to repent after you cut my hands off? I mean, seriously. Okay, let's see what Jalalain says. But whoever repents after his evil doing.
See, that's what I'm saying. You only get to repent and reform after the punishment.
Okay. Yeah. Now, Jalalain is a little ambiguous. It says, but whoever repents after his evil doing.
Are they saying both hands, though? I mean, that's the interesting part.
Well, actually, they don't refer to the both hands. They just say that Ibn Abbas just says after you've been punished.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you want to look at, let's see, that would be verse 38. I was looking at the one that says repent. Let's look at the what the scholars say. This is Ibn Abbas. As for the thief, both male and the female cut off their hands.
Oh.
Then it says their right hands. How many? Okay, so, but this is assuming that a male and female are stealing together.
Well, let's just have some fun here. Muhammad Assad uses a singular hand. The Clear Quran, Mustafa Khattab says hands. Safi Kaskas says hands. Why are they trying to change it? I mean, that's the thing we have to ask. Word for word, Shanaz Sheikh, hands. What are they concerned about? Well, because okay, then we get to Pickthall again, hands. Yusuf Ali, hands. Why? Again, if you cut off two hands, you have made these people dependent. And maybe they were stealing because there wasn't anything for them to just, and now if they have both hands, now you got to feed them. It's not just providing food. You have to feed them.
But here it gets even better. Reading the commentaries, I just realized that the reason that they're saying cut off their right hands, it's implying that it's a male and female who commit the crime at the same time. Here's Jalalain. After the thieving male and the female, okay, and the male who thieves and the female who thieves, because this clause resembles a conditional statement. If he thieves or she thieves, blah 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 blah. Cut off their hands. That is the right hand of each of the two from the wrist bones.
But it doesn't say anything about the right hand here, does it?
No, it doesn't. That's why I'm saying. So, all this clear and detailed book does not say you're supposed to cut the right hand. Why?
So just picking on you as the defender of Islam. Where is the word? Where is right? The word right in here. I mean, the way this reads, you're supposed to cut off both hands of the male and female. It doesn't imply that you only cut off one hand anyplace. In fact, it's a bold statement. You just cut off their hands, period.
And I believe all the other translators say cut off their hands, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's only a couple where they use singular, and I think it's because they see there's something wrong there. Oh, are they trying to fix the Quran?
Could be. Now we would have to look. Okay,
I think anybody puts the word right hand in there is lying. Let me
go look at another place. Let me look at corpusquran.com, and I'm going to do a word for word. This was 5:38, I think, or no, maybe 5:39. Okay, chapter 5, the table. Now, chapter 5 is called the table spread with food.
Anybody see any food?
No, and we haven't even seen the table yet. So let's see.
Where's that table?
It's going to be somewhere down the end. Okay, let me see. As for the thief, the male and the female amputate their hands. Okay, so I'm looking at Sahih International, but let me do a word for word because let me just go do a word for word. Okay, as for the this is what I get when I hit too hard. Okay. Okay, and for the male thief and the female thief, then cut off their hands.
Oh, what happens if you get caught stealing? You're going to cut off both your hands. Is that where you want to live?
And check this out. If you look at what kind of word this is, it says it's a noun, an accusative, feminine, plural noun. So clearly, it's cut off their hands.
Yes, it's not even a question.
Now, since there's no distinction that says you're supposed to cut off their hands from the male and the female, it still would be their hands, implying both of them. And then it's also, I believe it's a pronoun, third person, masculine, dual possessive pronoun. I have no idea what that is. That's where I failed in English.
They're talking about when they're talking about possessive, dual possessive. That's an implication that the hands, we're talking about, these are owned by the males, and not just the males and the female. It's including both, because the dual can include both the male and the female. Okay. So it's a clear indication they're talking about cutting off both hands. So who put the words right hand in there? The liars that want to hide what the Quran says. They want to protect Allah.
Yeah, because there's nowhere in the Quran where it mentions anything about the right hand. So I got to go to the scholars. Now, my question is did Allah confer with
actually, if we don't go to the scholars, we just learned that Allah likes to cut people's hands off.
Right, both
he
of
likes
them.
to torture them.
So Allah likes to make people dependent on either family members for their functioning, for their day-to-day function, for their well-being and everything, because he wants to make you a handicap. I mean, at least if he cuts one hand, okay, so you still got the other hand, okay? Now, but here's the problem, Paul, right? So Allah's going to have to be forgiving. Allah cuts your right hand. Your right hand is the hand that you wipe your ass with. As a male, you wipe your butt with your right hand, and you hold your pecker with your right hand. Allah cuts your right hand. Now I'm going to have to violate the etiquette, and I'm going to have to do everything with my left hand. Why? The madness of Allah.
I don't think he cares. Again, he likes torture. So,
right.
Hey, this is another way for him to torture Muslims, because these rules, they weren't given to Jews. They weren't given to Hindus. They weren't given to anybody else. Allah likes to torture Muslims, followers of Islam, and that's the truth of it here.
I mean,
I noticed that Yahya hasn't been able to defend his Allah who wants to cut off hands, because he's going off topic and mentioning other things. So I'm having some fun with that.
He always goes out of the topic.
So Yahya does not. He's not an Islam defender, or he would actually be discussing the topic.
He's an Islam destroyer, because he destroys Islam every time he talks about it. Okay, so let's go back. So we realize that Allah likes to make people welfare recipients. Did you know that Allah has the kingdom of the heavens and the earth? Now, who's saying this? Did you know? Is this Allah?
I don't think Allah knows.
And if this is Allah,
he's supposed to be the one who's talking.
Right. And if this is Allah, it should say, did you know that I have the kingdom of the heavens?
Or is this Muhammad here's the
Hey,
question we keep saying. When we don't know if Allah is talking or not, is this actually Muhammad playing the role of Allah?
This is the writers. Who knows? Okay. Did you know that Allah has the kingdom in the heavens and the earth? He torments who he wills. And he forgives.
Because we're talking about torment, because he cut off your hands.
And he forgives whom he wills. So Muslims, can you have the assurance that Allah is going to forgive you?
Well, that's an easy answer, because Muhammad didn't know the answer.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Allah has might over all things. Oh, you messenger. That's probably Muhammad. Do not let those who hasten to the infidelity grieve you. Don't worry about people becoming infidels. Don't worry about it, bro. Of those who say with their mouths, we believe, but their hearts do not believe. And from those who become Jews. So people were becoming Jews? I didn't know people were
Muhammad, the followers of Islam. Hey, well, I'm a little confused here. We were talking about we were talking about Moses, then we started talking about Adam, and now we're talking about Muslims stealing. And now we've gone a long ways into the future again to talk about Jews.
And
so
some people are becoming Jews, because it says, and from those who become Jews. That means they weren't Jews before, but they became Jews. And we all know
they were Muslim. I'm talking about people who leave this. I mean, who are those? I guess they would have to, because he was just talking about a messenger. Maybe he's thinking Muhammad might. I don't know.
I don't know. Now, you and I know that it's a very long process to become a Jew, even if they allow you to become a Jew.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's not like Christianity where you can go up and you have an experience of conversion. No, it's a lot of steps, and it is a long process.
Or it's not just saying a few words and alhamdulillah, you're a Muslim.
Yeah, and You don't repeat a few sentences and
Right.
all of a sudden, yeah, it's not the same.
And from those who become Jews, the hearers to the lies, the hearers to the other people, they did not come to you. Okay, they shift the words from their place. They say, if you are giving this, so take it. If you are not giving it, so beware. Okay, and whomever Allah desires to lead into sedition, so you will not have anything for him against Allah. Okay, and whoever Allah desires to lead into sedition, okay, that's not a good word. So you will not have anything for him against Allah. I don't understand. I understand that Allah, whomever Allah desires to lead into sedition.
So
So
Allah, I mean, when you think sedition is one of the worst crimes on the earth.
right,
The only thing worse than sedition is treason.
right.
Okay. And that's as far as crimes on the earth. And here it is. It says it right here in the Quran. Allah leads people into one of the worst crimes on the earth, sedition. Now,
Right.
that is, we would probably classify murder and abuse of children as worst crimes. But as far as nations go, I mean, we're not talking about crimes against people. We're talking about crimes against humanity.
Right.
This is what sedition is. It's a crime against humanity. And that's, wow.
But the part that I don't understand is right after that, it says, so you will not have anything from him against Allah. Oh, okay. So Allah is going to lead certain individuals into sedition. And those people are not going to have anything. So you will not, so you will not have anything from him. Okay. So whoever this you is, you're not going to get anything from these seditious people against Allah. Okay. Those whom Allah does not desire to purify their hearts, again, it's all dependent on how Allah feels. Those who Allah does not desire to purify their hearts will have in this world disgrace due to Allah, and in the hereafter, Allah is going to torment them for something that Allah himself could have eliminated with a little bit of guidance. And I thought the Quran was a book of guidance. I don't need any guidance after you cut my two hands off. Give me.
Why would you trust someone that was going to cut your hands off? I mean, really?
I would not. Oh, we got a bot. Love face online strips without clothes. Okay. Let me see. Did anybody take care of that person?
I can't. If you make me oh, somebody did. Thank you. Whoever
Thank
did
you,
that.
Roughneck. Thank you. May
Thank you.
May Allah give you 100 rewards.
Oh, no, not Allah. May the Lord
kidding.
God Almighty do that, because Allah doesn't make anything permanent. You never know if he's going to give you something.
Yeah.
He might just give you punishment instead.
It's a crap shot. Let's flip the coin. Okay, Allah, you're going to give me some good deeds? Nope.
That's what the Quran tells us. It's not what anything else. We're only looking at what the Quran tells us. He flips a coin to decide whether he likes you or not. He flips a coin to decide if he's going to reward you or not. You can't tell. That's what the Quran tells us.
Right.
And that's as clear as it gets.
Right. So 42 here. Okay. So if they come to you, so judge between them or turn away from them. And if you turn away from them, so they will not harm you anything. And if you judge, so judge between them with fairness. Surely Allah loves those who deal fairly. Alhamdulillah. Okay. So let's see. This passage confirms that the Jewish books, the Torah, are true in Muhammad's time. Okay. 43. And how can they make you their judge? They have the Torah and the judgment of Allah. Okay, so I really hate that question mark. Okay, well, this is a question. Okay, so we see that in the time of Muhammad, the Torah was good because Allah is telling Muhammad, hey, why are these people coming to you and asking you to be their judge when they have the Torah and they can, with the judgment of Allah? Then they turn away after this. Why are they turning away? And those are not believers, okay? But we know that the Jews don't believe in Allah and Muhammad in the first place. So, of course, they're not believers. Okay, surely we have sent down the Torah. Okay. Now, I don't really, let me see. Does it really say Torah? 43.
Where are we?
We're in 43. I'm in the wrong.
I went down a little. I'm sorry. It'll probably say law. That's their.
Yeah. Okay. So this one doesn't say the kitab. Okay. So that's cool. I wasn't sure because it's very confused. Okay. So surely we have sent down the Torah, and in it is guidance and light. Okay. The prophets judge by it. Okay. The prophets judge by it those who submit themselves to the Jews and the Jewish teachers and the Abar. I don't know what it means. Maybe it means rabbis. I don't have it up, so I don't know.
Just a second. I'll check it. Priests. Again, this is a Syriac.
Whoa. Did I just read that the Jews have priests?
Yep, we did.
The prophets, okay, because we're talking about the Torah, right? The prophets, and we know all the prophets were Jews, except for, the ones that the Muslims claim, like, I can't pronounce their names. Well, definitely Ishmael.
Muhammad.
Muhammad.
Ishmael is not a prophet. He's never any place in the Bible or does it actually claim that someplace?
The prophets judge by the Torah. The prophets judge by the Torah those who submit themselves to the Jews and the Jewish teachers and the priests. I have no clue what the priests have to do with the Jews. Because Christians don't submit themselves to the Jews. So why would the priests submit themselves to the Jewish? Why would people submit?
Oh, no, there are Jewish priests. There are.
Really?
Yeah, because the Levite tribe are the priests. Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I mean, I know that the Levites are called the priestly tribe.
Yeah, the head the chief priest is the one who goes into the temple every year. So yeah, there are priests.
So I guess the teachers would be another name for rabbi. It should say
rabbi. Okay. Yeah, teachers are rabbis, and rabbis are like a step lower than a priest. Okay. They're not. They're like the scholars that share with a common person. The priest is the one who does the actual rituals.
Allah gets a get out of jail card. Okay, and the Jews and the teachers and the priests and what they kept from the book of Allah. Okay, so it appears it's telling me that did they keep the whole book? Did they keep partial book?
But again, there was no book of Allah at this point because Allah hasn't communicated to the Jewish people.
Yeah, but
we don't hear about that ever.
Yeah, but this I can understand that the book is referring to the Torah because the other verses are referring to the Torah, so we can infer that this is referring to the Torah. I don't have a problem with this one. I have a problem when there's no connection. I can connect the book going back to the Torah, but you got some verses where it just says, and we sent down the book, but there's no connection. There's no verses talking about. So I'm okay with this one. Allah gets another pass, and they are witnesses over it. Okay, so do not fear the people and fear me, and
don't fear the Jews,
right?
And fear Allah. Okay,
right, and do not purchase. Okay. So do not fear the people and fear me, and do not purchase with my verses for a little price.
I don't understand that.
You say don't sell my book for a little price, and whoever does not judge by what Allah has sent down, so those are the infidels. Okay, still 44 verses, no table and no food. Let's see, how long have we been here? Okay, 34. I just don't want people to start bitching and complaining, and I understand, but I try to explain. This is very hard to do in, let's say, a half an hour. We would probably only get to 5 verses, and you and I would probably be in the grave before we got halfway. I had a friend of mine tell me, why didn't we start at the end of the book? The chapters are smaller. You know, they're only a few verses, but that would make as much sense as in the order that the Quran is right now. Okay, so now we go to 45. And we wrote for them in it. Okay, who wrote? Whoa! Who wrote? Who wrote? Allah wrote something? Whoa!
Wait a minute. I didn't think Allah could. That would mean Allah is physical, doesn't it?
Exactly, and has hands. Unless Allah. Now, wait a minute. Maybe Allah commanded the pen to write. Something wrote for them.
Well, that would be like witchcraft, what you're describing.
Right. And I am well, Allah's pen is basically a magic pen, which would be magic, witchcraft. My understanding is magic is haram. I mean, this stuff just gets better and better. I mean, I'm also glad that this is being recorded. Now, I'm going to have to download these because when you go, like for instance, since I'm also doing the book at the same time, a lot of times you don't remember this, and sometimes you get better ideas or something like that. But something wrote in the Torah for them. Oh, okay. So and we wrote for them in it a soul for a soul, an eye for an eye, nose for a nose, an ear for an ear, a tooth for a tooth, for wounds, retaliation. Clearly stole that from the Jews.
Actually, this time period, it wasn't stolen from the Jews. It's actually from
the Talmud.
Hammurabi had this out, an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. So it's slightly before the Jews. Okay. So this is, it was pretty much the law of the land. Only Hammurabi is one of the guys who actually wrote it down first.
Okay. Okay, so now we've seen that the Quran confirms the Torah. Now the Quran confirms the Gospels and is correct in Muhammad's. Okay. And in their footsteps, we sent Isa, son of Mary, confirming what is between his hands of the Torah. So clearly we know that Isa had the Torah. And we gave him the gospel. Now, is the gospel, is that a book? Was that revelation? I don't know. And it is a guidance and a light, and confirming what was between his hands from the Torah. We already know that this is he just repeats the same thing. Confirming what is between his hands of the Torah. Confirming what was between. Okay, so the first one is in the present tense, confirming what is between his hands. So that's a present tense. Okay. But then the next one says confirming what was, that's in the past tense. So Allah goes from the present tense to the past tense.
Well, again, this shows that someone ignorant of Arabic, and this is why they're actually having discussions today that are questioning, because of the poorly written Arabic, was this originally written in Syriac? Was the text originally written in the Syrian language?
I don't know, but it's starting to look like they might have a good point there, because just reading this, absolutely. How do you go from confirming something that is between his hands, and I'm sorry, this is not even a different verse. This is in the same verse. Listen to this. He said confirming what is between his hands of the Torah, and we gave him the gospel, and it is guidance and light. Okay, we got that. And confirming what was between his hands. So I guess the gospel is confirming the Torah.
Well, on top of that, the gospel confirms the Torah. The Torah does confirm the gospel as well. On top of that, some of these errors, the more I think about it, when you talk to someone who has English as a second language, some of these types of mistakes we're seeing is not. I mean, it's typical of someone who is learning another language. They haven't mastered English, or they haven't mastered whatever language. I mean, I know I took Greek, I took Hebrew, I very little Spanish. In high school, I did that, and and I would mix those, the plurals and the singulars up sometimes,
Right.
and you would mix the feminine and the masculine up sometimes, especially because I pick on people who are English speakers who do this, because in our language we don't have those
Right.
masculine and feminines.
Right. We don't
So
have that concept.
yeah. So this is where I'm looking at this and saying, maybe that these are the little things that indicate the book was not truly written in Arabic. I mean, I'm starting to see this now. This is just as an academic person who has some interest in language. I have some friends who are what I would consider experts. I have
Right.
a friend who is a master of languages. He learns. I mean, he can speak. I can't tell you how many languages he currently speak. I know he was up to 20 something at one point.
Holy moly.
He loves language, and the courthouse loves him because they ask him to learn a language so they can have a court case, because there's nobody
Right.
else who can translate it. He just go and do it. He'll just go
Well,
learn it and do it.
that Paul, I would say that person is blessed with a gift.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm not a native. English is my second language.
What's
When
your
I
first
came,
one?
Portuguese.
Oh,
When I came to the States, when my parents came from actually, I'm from the Azores, which technically is Portugal. It's an extension of Portugal, kind of like the Virgin Islands. You're considered an American, even though it's not one of the 50 states. I almost said 51. But we came to the States when I was 1 month shy of turning 8, and they threw me in the second grade. Now, back then, there was no ESL, there was no English as a second language. And I spent a big part of my first year, I used to cry because in my classroom, there was, of course, English, there was lots of Spanish kids, and there were also some Asian kids. I didn't understand either one of those. But I had a really good teacher. And to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie, I learned most of my English from Sesame Street and flashcards.
oh wow.
So I did.
I pity you.
My parents weren't educated. I mean, my dad did go to the army, but
So do you agree then what I'm saying about a second, that you're seeing some of this? I mean, I'm guessing you would have had some of these similar experiences learning English.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, and that's why my weakness is the as far as English. Now I always pass my English courses with B's and C's, sometimes an A, depending on. But I always forgot from one year to the next year, the intricacies of the language, pronouns, this and that. The grammar part, I suck. Thank God for stuff like Microsoft Word, because otherwise I would need to go back and take a refreshers course on the English structure, the grammar. But even with English as being my second language, now maybe I would have made this kind of mistake in the third, fourth grades, but I don't think that I am this bad that I do something like this. You'll let me know when you read my book, what I'm writing in the book, because I mean it's like, this is really bad. Okay, so now we go to confirming. Okay, so Isa. Okay, and the people of the gospel. I thought we were the people of the book. Now we go to we're the people of the gospel, judged by what Allah has sent down in it. Okay, so the gospel is something written, because according to 47, he sent it down, right? And the only way that you can judge, you have to have something to judge from. So it can't simply be revelation given to Isa. Now, it could be revelation given to Isa and then written down, but it's clearly written down for people to be able to use as a judging something to judge. Okay. And see, again, I hate this. And Allah sent down. Why couldn't Allah say, and the people of the gospel judge what Allah revealed to Isa? Sent down applies something physical that, like, maybe maybe Allah dropped a book.
I think you have to read this rest of this because you can really ask yourself questions. And that the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has sent down. And he's saying, okay, so they're saying the gospel was sent by, the message of the gospels were sent down. Judge by down. You're a sin. Muslim, if you.
You're breaking up. Looks like you froze.
Me?
You froze or something happened on my end, but okay. I'm not seeing the Wi-Fi warning thing. But go ahead because you're back. Or one
okay. So I think it's important that here it says, if you meet a Muslim and they don't believe they need to read the Gospels, here it is right here. Show them this verse. Chapter 5, verse 47. It says that if you don't read the Gospels, which Allah sent down, you're a transgressor because you can't. That's right there. It's not anyplace else. Again,
yeah, but see, Paul, I could see a Muslim saying, no. It's saying that the people of the gospel, they need to judge, not that Muslims need to read the gospel and judge it. And use it to judge. So
who sent it down?
Well, it was Allah that sent it down for the people called the people of the gospel.
Okay, but if Allah sent down His word, there's another question to ask Muslims: right. Is Allah able to preserve His word?
Well, clearly not, because the gospel's been corrupted, the Torah has been corrupted.
There's no place that it actually says that.
But, right, I know that, but that's the argument that they can't. Yeah. Now there is a couple of verses that kind of allude to it, but it doesn't really. Like David Wood said, he would leave Islam if they could find a verse that explicitly says that the Bible was corrupt. Okay, so the Quran confirms the previous books that the Bible. Okay, true as long as the Quran exists. Okay, so okay, and to you. 19, and to you, Muhammad, it's probably Muhammad. We have sent down the book, the Quran. Let me see. Let me just go over the commentaries. Nope, Al-Mahdi 48. Okay, it just says the book. We don't know what the book is. But I'm sure that doc is saying Muhammad and the Quran.
We're looking at 20 or 19?
19 is, I'm sure, is Muhammad.
19 Muhammad, and 20 is
the Quran.
Yeah.
With the truth, so Allah
again. The one thing I'll say here is, while he says Muhammad, it's not there.
Right. And to you, okay, if we were to read this from the clear, explained, a detailed book, but they will say,
communication device.
But they will say, well, we know it's Muhammad because he was the only one that was sent a book confirming whatever. So,
but from the Quran, we don't know that.
Right, but here's the point: if I was to give somebody the Quran and only tell them that, hey, this is a book from God, right, and I'm reading it, which is what we're doing. We would not understand. We would not know who 19 is, what 20 is, or 21. So, and to you, we have sent down the book with the truth, confirming what is between his hands, okay, of the book, which is the Torah, as guardian over it. Now, is 21 also referring to the Quran?
Just a second. Here we go. It says Bible.
Ooh. Okay, so apparently, if I'm reading this correct, Paul, so Muhammad was sent down the book, the Quran, with the truth, confirming what is between his hands, the book, the Bible, according to Osama, and as guardian over it. Who's guarding who's guarding what? Is he
again,
guarding
this
the
is where
Quran,
Allah says he preserves his word.
right? So, but is he guarding the Quran? Well, it just says he's a guardian. Okay, so is he guarding the Quran? Is he guarding the Bible? Is the Bible a guardian over the Quran, or the Quran a guardian over the Bible? I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I mean, we don't know.
It could be
who
one
or
of the,
what the guardian is.
It could be. It could be. Well, they would say that the guardian is Allah, but again, how would I know that? I pick up this damn book and I'm reading it. I don't know who's the guardian, and what does guardian mean? Okay, but so we know Muhammad was sent down the book. See, I have a problem with that word book. And this is one of the discussions that I had with a Muslims today in the room that I opened up. And they were trying to say, no, it doesn't mean book. Just about, I think 95% of the translators that I read said book. You know, kitab. It's a book. If you look up the word, it's a book. Some of them say scripture, but it's still something physical, right? So Allah sent down the book, but we know Muhammad never had a book. And I'll tell you what, let me, oh no, this is the wrong one. Almadia. Okay, let me see. Control F. Book.
XYZ, clear as mud.
You know? Yeah, there you go. Now, what kind of mud? Is it murky, warm clay, mud, whatever? Okay, there's a guardian over it. So we don't know who is the guardian. Is it Allah?
Again, we don't even know that this is that even when they say that, when Osama mentions, you know, again in a footnote that it's the Quran,
right,
or he mentions in the Bible, it's not clear,
right,
and I think you're 100% right picking on this topic of book.
right.
It's just another way to prove that Muhammad is as clear as mud. Or no, I'm sorry, this is supposed to be Allah,
Right.
even though we know, I mean.
So,
and I think it's humorous here. Yeah. This Allah is using the royal we, but he says there is no we in him. So I find that humorous.
All right. So let's continue. Okay. So then assuming it's Allah, so judge between them by what Allah has sent down. So Muhammad, or this person, we don't know who it is, and to you, we don't know who that is.
Is referring to if it's Allah, he's referring to himself in third person again.
It's supposed to. So whoever this person is, let's go with the notion it's Muhammad. We don't know. So Muhammad is supposed to judge between, I don't know, I guess the Jews and the Christians, by what Allah has sent down. And do not follow their desires about what came to you of the truth. What desires?
That is, again, as clear as XYZ says, clear as mud.
Yeah. What desires? Cardinal, desires of sexual escapades? I don't know. To every one of you, we have given a law. Okay, so Muhammad was only given one law. I thought Moses.
Wait a minute. If everybody gets their own law, and that means that you only have to follow what's law for you, right? I mean, that's like situational ethics. Whatever you decide.
But who is this everyone? Is it referring to the prophets? Is it referring to the messengers? It's not clear. Is it referring to the people? And it's referring to the people. It says to everyone, we have given a law, one law, a law, singular, in a clear way. But I thought the Quran had more than one law. But anyway, and here we go again. And if Allah willed, he would have made you one nation. But he has to test you, so he doesn't make you one nation. He makes you a whole bunch of nations.
So the question is it ever going to be Allah's will that he makes you one nation?
Again, throw that coin up in the air. Let's see where it falls. And to Allah, okay, so hasten doing good deeds. To Allah, you will all return. Okay, so he will inform you about what you are differing. Who is going to inform who about you are differing? Who is the you here? Okay, I was telling the Muslims that when I'm reading the Quran, I'm looking for this. Who, what, where, when, how. Because when you write a paper, that's what my teacher used to tell me. If you cover the who, the what, the when, the how, and the what, you got a good chance of getting a good grade. Unless you're writing, like fiction or science fiction or something like that. So we don't know who's going to inform who about what you are differing. I'm assuming Allah is going to inform you, right? Because my guess is because it says to Allah you will return. Therefore, I could say that the he here is.
So we could just take again this little piece here. So he will inform you about what you were differing. We call this this would be considered so unclear that it would not pass as a second grade or a first grade sentence.
Right.
Yeah, it's again clear as mud. Thank you, XYZ. I'm going to enjoy that one.
Okay, so yeah, that is a good one. And okay, so 49, and that you judge between them by what Allah has sent down. Okay, and do not follow their desires. Again, I don't know what these desires are. It would be nice to know what these desires are. So maybe you and I, Paul, we don't fall in the trap and we follow them.
The only thing I can think of, because Allah is such a sex fiend, it might be about sex. But again, Allah, we can't know that.
But wait a minute. But this is saying do not follow their desires. So if it's about sex, Allah would say, yeah, follow the desires, bro. Get down dirty. But I mean, I don't know. And
yeah, he has gotten down dirty in some of these countries.
And be on guard towards them that they seduce you from some of what Allah has sent down to you. What did Allah send down? Is he saying, do not let them seduce you from the books that Allah sent down? I don't know. So if they turn away, you know that Allah only desires to inflict them for some of their sins. Oh my God. I mean, this guy is such a nice guy, and surely many of the people are transgressors. Okay.
Well, does that make Allah happy so he can torture them more?
Oh, okay. I finally got a message back from the Muslim that was referred to me by Agas, since he's not ready to debate Muhammad in the Bible. Okay, so I might have a debate on it, but I'm going to make him wait like he made me wait. And surely, okay, so now we're on verse 50, Paul. Have you seen anything about a table with food?
Wow, 49 verses and we haven't seen a table.
Nope.
So where did they get this idea that a table's?
I have a.
Are we up to another 200 and some odd number of verses in this one chapter too?
Let me see. I will tell you how many verses are in this. No, actually, this is a very small. Okay, small compared to chapter 2. 120 verses. So we're almost halfway there. And let me see. How long have we been on here? An hour and 58, maybe 2.5 hours. Period, because I definitely got to eat. Okay, so 50.
We started at 3, and we're almost at 2 hours. Yeah.
159 according to this. Okay, so let's go back to let's go back. Okay, so 50. Do they desire the judgment of ignorance? Okay.
Wait a minute. Ignorance of what?
I don't know. Ignorance of their sins, who knows? And who is a better judge than Allah for the people who are certain of what?
Did they just call Allah ignorant? They desire the judgment. But put that together. Do they desire the judgment of ignorance? And who is a better?
So Allah is king of ignorance. That's why he would know ignorance. That's why he's able to judge ignorance, because he's well versed in ignorance.
Okay.
Okay, so
the Quran calls Allah ignorant. I mean, I didn't do it. The Quran did.
So here's the funny part. We just finished reading that the Christians and the Jews are supposed to judge by their books. Okay, now we go to 51, where it says Muslims are forbidden from making friends with the Christians of the Jews. So what do you care what the Jews and Christians use as their judgment criteria? Okay, all you who believed, do not take the Jews and the Nasara. Again, Nasara is not Christians. I don't know who they are. I am not a Nasara. There is a word for Christians, and that is not it. Okay, this has to be some kind of sect.
I was talking to him about that, and but think I'll that off.
You're breaking up on my end, so I don't know if it's my internet or yours.
Oh, it might be. Are you not hearing me?
Okay, now I hear you with no lag.
Okay, sorry about that.
No problem.
Net issues been today, so for my first, you've already heard about it.
Yeah.
But the use of Christians in here, when they refer to Nasara, that's a question I have, and it's I'll share with you something later, but I don't. I have my real issues with. I think the reason that Christians are used here is not that it's the best translation. It is that is what Muslims translate this as. And that I believe is the real reasoning behind it.
Right, but what's the purpose? There is an Arabic word for Christians. And
I agree with you. My
not
personal thought is the Nasara are Gnostics. And I don't think there is anything better to answer.
Right. It's a heretical group that lived in the area, and maybe they call themselves. Well, I definitely know Nasara does not mean Christians. What it could mean agnostic, I don't know. It could be the name of this particular sect. It's just very strange that unless the Arabic word for Christians was a later invention, and that Nasara was Christian back then, it just doesn't make sense. Okay, so
if we look at it as, again, we have, if we're looking at this as maybe the original language was not Arabic, maybe, and we looked at Nasara as a Syrian word, maybe for Christian, we might have a better answer.
I may have to see if I can find an Arabic, I'm sorry, not an Arabic, maybe a Syriac or what? An Aramaic.
What Syrian refers to Christians as. I mean, that I think would be.
I have access to a Aramaic.
Hello, Eric. Eric says Nasara menas Christians. Nasara means Christians,
he's wrong. Eric is wrong.
I'm going to disagree there too, because
the word for Christian. Okay, let me give you the word for Christian. Where am I going? Over here. Okay, we're gonna go over here. And I asked John Adams, and he agreed with me. Oh no, okay, agree. Christians. Okay, and what do also confirmed it. Let me put it on the stream. And good to see you, Eric. This is. Oh no, I don't want to put the Arabic, because Eric is not going to be able to read it. So I'm going to have to get the transliteration. Oh, come on. I'm going to have to use the transliteration.
I've heard this statement before that Nasara is derived from Nazareth. I don't think it's correct. I don't think that's exactly what that is. I think it's an attempt, But
I mean, Eric does have a point, but at this time, nobody knows. But that is the Arabic word for Christians. Al-Mashi. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. There is a word for Christian. There is a word for Christians. It is not Nasara. This is the same problem that I have with Isa. You cannot translate Isa into Jesus because a J is translated as a Y in Arabic. So
it would actually be a Hebrew. Hebrew would be
right.
The correct would be the Y. Yeah.
Right, but in Arabic, it's the same thing. If somebody's name is, let's say, Jesus, it would be Yeshua with a Y. So yeah. Isa has an I. That I is never going to translate into a J. What's that song? Never going to happen.
It's
never
closer
going to
to Esau, which is again problematic.
Right. Okay, so 51. Still no table, no foods. All you who believe, because I know that's not what it says, do not take the Jews and the Nasara, aka the Christians, as friends. They are friends to one another, and whoever among you takes them as friends, surely he is of them. Surely Allah does not guide the unjust people. So I'll tell you what, Allah just said that the Jews and the Christians, they're unjust. We are bad people. So
yeah, and you can actually find this in high school textbooks in Islamic high schools. Yeah. I mean, it's called what the I have the book right with me. I just moved it. All about Islam, and it's a book. Sorry, for middle schoolers, and this verse is taught to Muslims in middle school, telling them not to be friends with Christians and Jews. And it's very clear to them. They use this all the time. So it makes quite a statement that they would teach this in an Islamic school here in the United States, and they do all across the United States, use these textbooks all about Islam by Yahya. I mean, I'm just sitting there looking at this, and this is, again, I told this verse to my daughter when she was told by a Muslim in her school that jihad is, does not mean war. And I says, okay, let's read this one, and he says, well, that's not true. Oh, so he's lying about it, what his Quran says now. Okay, so I didn't lie to you. I read it to you from the Quran. I mean, these are major concerns.
All right, so we're 52. So you see those who have sickness in their heart hastening to them, saying, we fear that misfortune will befall us. So not only are we unjust people, we have a sickness in our hearts. We fear that misfortune would befall us. So perhaps Allah will bring a conquest or a command from himself. Now, how the hell is this Allah speaking? Perhaps.
So Allah doesn't know again.
Perhaps. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the speech of somebody else referring to Allah. This is not Allah speaking. If Allah speaks like this, God help the Muslims, which would explain why they're very lost. They're like Moses, running around for 40 years.
They're going in circles and never coming up for air.
These people are in for a rude awakening. Perhaps Allah will bring a conquest or a command from himself. Okay. I'm not quite sure what they mean. Allah will bring a conquest. Is Allah going to be fighting? Is he finally going to put on some gloves and duke it out? We don't know.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see him actually show up.
Now, I really know Muslims get pissed off when I use like comedy and so forth, but you got to. Otherwise, I'm going to start crying. Okay, because this is worse than when I was in 2nd and 3rd grade and I didn't know English. Okay, of course, this is in Arabic, but this would be the equivalence. It sucks. 53. I'm still looking for a table. We're almost halfway through the chapter. No table, no food. And the believers will say, and the believers will say, are those who swore to their Allah by their most solemn oath. Surely they were with you. I have no freaking idea what this is talking about.
Who is those who swore? I guess that would be the Muslims. And we don't know what the most solemn oath is because we haven't been told that yet.
Well,
Sure.
were
they?
But I thought the believers is what's the believers were the Muslims. So you got the believers asking, are those who swore to their Allah to? Oh, wait a minute, to their Allah. So you have believers saying,
are we talking about two different Allahs now?
Are we talking about two different believers? And the believers, okay, so these have to be Muslims because everywhere else we are unbelievers. And the believers will say, are those who swore to their Allah? Okay, I guess because Allah is just generic for God, it really should say, are those who swore to their gods?
I would disagree. Again, it was just like you're having an issue with the word God. I'm with the word Christian. I have a real problem when they referring to the word God as Allah. Allah is not the word for God. And that's where, I think it never should be translated as God. Are those who swear
actually, but here's the thing, Paul. The word for God is not Allah.
Yes.
Okay. Allah is just the translation of the word the gods. Okay. If you go to Google Translate and you put in English the God, you're going to get Allah.
It's not correct.
No. But the word for God is one word. Allah is actually two words. El, which means the, and then the word for God. So it's El Leha. The word for the word for. Let me see. I'm in Corpus Quran, so I can do this quick. Okay. If I go to Corpus Quran and I search for the word God, I am not going to get Allah. I get a word called Ilaha, Ilaha. That means God. You also find Elihun with a U, okay? And sometimes you will find it with an, I believe with an I, okay? But technically, if you search for the word God, you do not find Allah. You find Ilaha, okay? If you search for Allah in Corpus Quran and we type in Allah, okay, you know what? Let me do this. Let me go over here and are you frozen?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let me share the screen and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, I want to go to Brave, want to go to Corpus, the Quran, Arabic Corpus. Okay, we go over here. I don't think we can see, so let me blow it up a little bit. Nope, I want to go to Corpus Quran. Come over here and chuka. Nice, that should be okay. Can we see here? All right, but I got to go down some. Okay, so if you search for the word Allah, you'll see it's L, okay, and then the dash Lahi, Laha. That is the translation of Allah. If we go and we type the word God, which I'm about to do, if I can find it, okay, it's up here, and we type in the word God, oops. No, I don't want it up here. Come on, behave. God's. You will see that God's is with no that it's a right. Ilaha. Okay, so there is a word for God. Allah does not mean God. Allah just because that's kind of like saying dog does not mean dog. Okay, God is God. There's a word for God and there's a word for Allah, and the two shall not meet between something, whatever. Yes, CP is very good. Okay, so let's go. Let me switch back to our stop the screen, share the screen, Brave, and where is the generous Quran? Let's go back to the generous Quran. Okay, so we left off. Allah will bring a conquest or a command from himself. Okay, I mean, who else would where else would God bring a command from somebody else? I just realized this other problem. Allah will bring a conquest or a command from Himself. Okay, well, if it's not from Allah, who else is going to give a command? So
well,
they
that's
will.
what I'm getting at. It
Yeah,
sounds like there are two different Allahs here. The
could
believers
be.
will say, "Are those who swore?" My issue here with verse 53 is we already had an Allah bringing conquest, and now we have believers who say, "And are those who swore to their Allah," as if there's a separate Allah.
Right, which is why I said that really should say gods, and there is a word for God because that's very confusing.
But
Why would the believers, if Allah is supposed to be a name, why would the believers be saying, are those who swore to their Allah? That
because I think this comes down to this time period. Uh, they were they're dealing with polytheists,
could be.
and I think they would be themselves confused about who God is, and that's clear. Maybe that's what this is. This is the clear as mud expression for is God more than one?
I, I mean, well, there is a verse, chapter 9, verse 31, where if you read the pure Arabic, it equates Jesus and Allah as gods, co-equal gods, because it says, "Don't take as lords besides Allah and Isa." And there is in the Arabic. Okay, I've learned enough about the Arabic. I know what the Arabic word for "and" is. Okay, now most of the translations, I'd say probably 99. There are a few that write it as it is in Arabic, try to separate Jesus from Allah, saying that they were taking other things besides Allah, and they also included Allah. But if you read the Arabic, it says, "Don't take lords besides Allah and Isa, son of Maryam." So maybe that's it. Maybe right here is talking about believers, talking about okay, now I'm the one having problems with the internet. Because I see the little thing that says your connection is unstable. How is it unstable? Well, the weather does look like kind of crap. Okay, now I got 2 bars. I would hook it up directly, but
I actually have to get a new laptop before I can hook up directly, which is what I'm working towards.
Well, but see, I don't like hooking up directly because I don't have the cable connection here, and I do most of my work in, I guess, what I would call the the dining room, because the living room is on the other side of the apartment. And that's where I have my router. And the reason I have a laptop and I like Wi-Fi is so that I can go anywhere in the house. If I want to be on the toilet, I can take my laptop or my phone and have some good entertainment. Okay, but let's see, 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Do we want to call it?
No, we'll do 2.5 because that's what we've done today. Hey, you know who I haven't noticed today? No Aladdin.
Oh, gee. I'll give him 5 minutes when he realizes we're closing.
Yeah, right as soon as we're getting ready to get off.
I think he's concerned that I called him out as not only a liar, but 2 standard deviations below the norm. Again, when somebody can't say yes or no, again, a pre-K person can get that, but
I got
anybody want a good laugh about if you missed last week, go to Rumble, look up Sutlifian Report or Sutlif, Sutliff as in Frank, and you can have a good laugh or you can just look up Aladdin, Alaadeen, and you'll have a good laugh.
Or they could just look at our show that we did.
Yeah.
But you cut out.
I just took 2 small clips of it, so it was.
Either you have.
It was bad.
Yeah. And honestly, all they have to do is to just skip over to the last, I think, 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was the last 30 minutes of the last show.
Just skip over it. But okay, 54, or you who believe, whoever of you turns your back from his religion, so Allah will bring forth a people. He loves them, and they love him. Submission to the believers, haughty towards the infidels. Okay, so why are people submitting to believers? I thought you were only supposed to submit to Allah. So it says, okay, all you who believe, whoever of you turns your back from his religion, Allah is going to bring forth people to replace you. And this goes back to the hadith where Allah says, if you're not to sin, I'm going to replace you with sinners. Here we see, if you turn your back on Islam, Allah is going to bring other people because he loves them and they love him. Submissive to the believers. Okay, but why are people submitting to believers? Aren't they supposed to submit to Allah? Haughty.
Oh, wait a minute. Are you saying that Allah wants shirk again?
I guess. Why would you submit to people? Because that's what it says, submit to people. And these believers are the ones that Allah replaced, because the other one said, fungu you, Allah.
Well, this is their justification for dimitude.
Now here we go.
That's what I would what I would say. This is their justification for that.
So here we go. Submissive to the believers, haughty towards the infidels. They perform jihad for the sake of Allah and do not fear the blame of the blamer. Okay.
Oh, hey, you know who we call the blamer in Christianity? The person who points that finger. It's not God.
Right.
It's Lucifer.
Right.
Or Satan.
Right.
Okay. And who is Allah calling the person who points the blame here?
I don't know.
Allah, and do not fear the. It's not very clear, but it sure looks like that would be Allah.
Now, okay, let's be honest here. Have we seen anything that's actually clear?
Not in this Quran.
Not yet. I mean, granted, we're only halfway through the chapter. Well, 60 is halfway. So here's, let me see. Let me go back. I think there was 120 verses. So let's just take it to halfway. 56, 69, 59, 94, 108. Okay, 120. So we'll stop at 60. That'll be the halfway. So, okay, so submissive believer, he gives. Okay, this is a favor of Allah. Okay, right. Okay, he gives to whom he wills. Again, there's no assurity in Islam. It all depends. How is Allah feeling today?
Hey, so why worship a God who flips a coin, and if you stand in front of him, you're petitioning him, and like, okay, today, yeah, you get it. Tomorrow, forget you.
Yeah. I mean, it's Russian.
And it's very human. It's not very
right.
It's not a deity.
Right. It's kind of like playing Russian roulette. You're playing Russian roulette in this religion, and Allah is large, man. I told Allah.
I guess he's fat. Wait a minute.
I told the man, stop eating those burritos. They're high in calories.
But who else do we know who was fat at this time period?
What, in the 7th
That was
century?
Muhammad.
Well, Muhammad was said to be a short, fat dwarf in white.
Yeah.
They probably got rid of that translation, but I think I have a screenshot. Okay. So but not only he's large, but he's knowing. So it's a good thing. He's a large guy, but he's knowing. Okay, 55. Surely your only friends are Allah and his messenger and those who believe.
They didn't mention a prophet here again.
Yeah, very few mention of prophet. Okay, and his messenger and those who believe. Osama, me and you're going to have a talk about this. Who perform the prayer and bring the legal alms. So people, please do not bring the illegal alms. Make sure you bring the legal ones. There's a difference. While they are kneeling, and make sure you do all of this crap while you're kneeling, because Allah will not accept them if you're standing up. 56. And whoever takes Allah and his messenger and don't. Dude, didn't we just read this kind of crap before?
Are we talking about the repetition factor again?
Right. And whoever takes Allah and his messenger, maybe one of these days I might just delete all the repetition and see just how big the Quran is. That's going to be that's going to be after I actually finish the first book, which is going to take me forever because, oh my God.
I'll encourage you to keep going at it.
Yes. And whoever I actually, I've been plugging it away a little bit. I focus a little bit on the writing and then a little bit on the analysis.
No, you could actually I would do chapter 1, and I would do each chapter as a separate book and sell them as ebooks is how I would do it.
Well, I was thinking that, okay, I'm trying to keep it under, because right now I think I have up to chapter 13, right? And that's what
for the outlines, yeah.
That's what my interpretation of what I think it's saying or not saying. I'm thinking by the time I do that with all 13 chapters, not including, I still have to get whatever the first parts of the book, it's going to be a table of, an index table, a little forward about what the hell this book is for. So you at least know what that is. And I might need your help to see what else, maybe have some, what do they call it? People who give their, what do you call that? When you have people that,
editing?
No, not editing. People that write something that you put
in your
forward
book. Or yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm thinking about 300 pages because right now I'm almost at 200 pages.
Wow.
So I'll see. Maybe I'll cut off at 5. I don't know, but it's definitely
I would. Yeah, this is different volumes that don't go above 300. And the reason, there's a big reason not to.
Right. I may not even go close to 300. I'll see how it goes because right now I'm still in chapter 2. I mean, chapter 1 was easy. It's 7 verses and not much to really analyze on the verse per verse, just on the fact that it doesn't make sense. Like, who's praying? Why is this a prayer? Who is this a prayer for? So I figure that depending on how it goes, probably as soon as I see maybe 200, maybe I'll cut it off there. And that'll
Thank
be
you, Roughneck. We'll miss you. He has to get going, I guess. Roughneck.
Oh, okay. All right, Roughneck. I'll probably see you on Pal Talk. Thank you for coming. God bless you. Thank you for helping out. We're almost done. And whoever takes Allah in his messenger and those who believe for friends. So surely if you got that handy, 22.
Again, he's repeating himself.
Right. No, but I'm saying, what does 22 mean?
Oh, I'm sorry, his 22 is party.
Surely
I think it's Ethiopian.
So surely the party of Allah. Oh, Allah has a party. Oh, okay. No, okay. I'm just kidding. So the party of Allah are the victors. So you belong to the victors. 57. O you who believe, take not
party
those.
Of Allah. That's actually the name of a terrorist entity. Hezbollah.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's just missing a few. O you who believe, take not those who took your religion as a scoff and sport among those who have received the book. Okay. Who are the people that were scoffing? Could it be the Jews and the Christians? I don't know. I'm sure that the 23 is referring to the Quran. Or no, the Bible.
Right. 23 is Jew and Christian.
Oh, okay. So those who received the book, we don't know what book. Okay, the Jews and the Christians before you. Okay, which would be the Torah and the Injil. What happens to the Zabur? There's no reference to the Zabur. I'm a little disappointed. Those who received the book, the Jews and the Christians, before you, and the infidels as friends. So apparently the Jews and the Christians and the infidels were making fun of Islam.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like good reason. If you read this, it's clear as mud.
And fear Allah if you are believers. Okay. 58. We're almost there. And if you called to the prayer, called who to the prayer, and they took it as a scoff and sport. That doesn't make sense, but that's okay. But who are you calling the Jews and the Christians to the prayer? Okay. That is because they are people who do not understand. Allah Allah, my dear man.
Who's the they here?
You should not be saying that people do not understand. Please read your book. Okay, because
Allah's book is as clear as mud. I'm gonna.
I like that one.
Yeah.
We're gonna call the Quran the clear as mud book. Maybe
That actually might be the best seller.
Hold on a second.
Quran, the clear as mud book.
Let me turn on the light because it's getting dark over here. But I'm going to put it down. I'm going to create a meme, like I did with the Dr. Kufophobia in the house. Clear as mud. Clear as mud.
Put XY. Get XYZ some credit there.
I'm going to have to put it. I'm going to have to put it in small letters, trademarked by, XYZ. So I'm going to call it the Quran Clear as Mud book. The clear as. Okay, so I got this. Maybe I'll do a theme today, or I'll do it tomorrow. I have to have a picture of a Quran. Okay, so 59. Say who say? Okay. Oh, people of the book. I hate that. Oh, people of the book. What book?
We don't know which book they're talking about because they keep saying it.
Because the Jews are not people. If you say the Bible, that's wrong, because the Jews are not people of the Bible. The Jews have their Tanakh. Okay. The Jews have nothing to do with the New Testament. Oh, people of the book, do you ridicule us because we believe in Allah and what he has sent down to us and what he has sent down before, and that many of you are transgressors? Okay, so I said we would go to halfway. So 60, this is the end. Okay, say again, will I? Okay, so this definitely is not Allah speaking. Say, will I inform you of evil? Then that is punishment from Allah. Okay, will I inform you of evil? Then that is punishment of Allah. Is that a coherent sentence?
Clear. We're back to clear as mud. Again, this would not pass probably a first grade literature review of maybe kindergarten. I don't think it would really inform you of. No, I'm sorry, it wouldn't pass kindergarten. There's no. This would be considered an incoherence, a statement of incoherence. There's no. This doesn't communicate anything. It only inform you of evil.
Okay, good. Good to see you. Good. Thank you for coming by, XYZ.
Thank you, XYZ.
I'm going to make you famous with the clear as mud book. So I'll see you guys. Connie, I'm surprised you could have come up. Connie, I'm going to open up a room on Clubhouse again, and I'm going to use the chapter 5, I think it was 26, 27, 28, and 29. I want
to. Did you see what XYZ wrote? Clear as mud. Jocular cliche spoken ironically to indicate that something is unclear. Dates from the 19th century. It appears R.H. Barham's Ingoldsby Legends, 1842.
There you go. Okay, let's finish this bet. Okay, I'm in the wrong place. I don't
60.
Want 60. Let's finish this bad boy. Say, will I inform you of evil, then that as punishment from Allah? Okay, so I mean, clearly, if you can't see that this is not Allah, because if this is something that Allah is saying to Muhammad, it's saying, oh, Muhammad, say, will I inform you? So that's not Allah. Okay. Then they whom Allah has cursed and on whom he has poured forth his wrath, some of them, 24. Oh my God. I guess the Jews.
24 is Jews, according to
yes. So some of the Jews, Allah changed into monkeys and swine. And they who worship the idolatry, those are in an evil place. They have gone astray from the right way. Allah changed Jews into monkeys and swine. So that means I could have eaten a Jew? How do I know which pig is a Jew? I forget the poor monkeys. I mean, Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we did go over 2.5 hours, but that's okay. We got at least halfway, so we're halfway through chapter 5, Paul. I think
That's pretty
maybe
good.
I think the next one we will finish 5. And listen, we're in halfway of the book. Have you seen a table with food?
I'm still looking for the word table. I mean, much less or food. I mean, I've heard a garden mentioned. I've heard
I
Adam
mean,
and Eve. I've heard Moses. We've talked about Israel, but none of that is chronologically sound.
let- just for the sake of it, I'm going to look for the word table, see where it's at. Aha! It's 8 verses before the end of the chapter.
I think the person who named these chapters was lazy.
Okay, let's check this out. So the whole chapter is called the table, right? But why it's saying okay. But guess what? The word table is only mentioned in 2 verses out of 120 verses. Okay, there are 2 verses, 112 and 114. Why is a chapter called the table when there is only 2 verses out of the whole book? Let me see.
So out of curiosity, can you do me a favor and do a search on the word jihad? How many times does that appear in this chapter?
Hold on a second. Plus 2 divided by 120. Okay, let's turn that into a percentage. Where's my percentage here? Percent. That is 1.6%. Okay, and that entitles it to be the title. Okay, so now let's go for jihad. I guarantee you. Okay, JHAD. No.
I'm pretty sure there's 3 or 4 mentions in this chapter.
Jihad. No, it's telling me no. It's not. It doesn't pull up any jihad.
Try war.
Okay, war 17. No, okay, but here's the thing. It's also picking up anything that has war. Let me see if I can do a Boolean search. So it doesn't give me war. It says 0.
So we've seen jihad
Okay,
already.
so let's look for fight. No, it's telling me no.
We've already seen it. So yeah, I don't know where you're searching.
Fight is at least 1 time. Okay, so I don't like this search because, like, for instance, if you put the word war,
54.
if you put the word war, it'll pick up the word rewards because it's just looking for war. It's not excluding anything. So we'll have to see. But table for sure is only in 2 verses. So 2 verses decide the title of the chapter. Okay, so we finished. Let me go back to StreamYard. RJ, all the people that's still here, Connie 321. Thank you. Whoever else is in here, we got 7 people. Okay, make that probably
Eric,
5.
thank you for joining us.
Yes, Eric, please join me later on after I have dinner. I'm going to go back to Clubhouse and I'm going to have some fun with some Muslims.
I will be on later on tonight with Usama Dakdak.
Oh, okay,
and
cool.
Hatun. We're going to have Hatun joining us later tonight.
Listen, you gotta get Hatun and Usama to join us when we do this, so they can get a good laugh.
I'll work on it. I'll try.
Black Mamba,
he was impressive when
Adrian,
we were using his book.
God bless you. RJ, good to see you. Okay, so before we leave, let me play our favorite thing because Eric forgets to do this, but I may have to send him this, so he can do it on his show. I can send it to you guys too. Let me go to videos, and this is no, we don't want the intermission. Okay, here we go. It's called the subscribe button. Let's open this up. Okay, I'll have to get that to include that in there. Cool. 9 p.m. Central Time. Okay, that's something else. Okay, Paul, thank you for coming.
God bless. Thank you.
I am glad you got your computer issues fixed. I really didn't want to talk to myself. Okay, and I'll see you again. Let me see. Tomorrow we got Crossing the Crescent at 3. I don't know. Maybe I might go on later on. You know, and maybe do 2 hours, an hour and a half. We'll see. So thank you very much.
I'm
Chris,
just curious. I can do. Hold on. I can just do a. We're offline, right?
No, we're not offline yet.
Okay. Right.
I just want to say hi to Marion, and she missed it. Christian Family Man, I'm sorry you missed it, but that's okay. It's saved. It's going to be uploaded. So thank you, everybody. I guess YouTube is being bad, and it's not notifying people. Okay, and broadcast. Thank you very much, folks. We'll do it again. And as Apostate Prophet would say, stay the hell away from Islam.